Welcome to Beyond Normal Days. I'm your host, Guillermo. This is episode 32 featuring Buzzi. Buzzi is a DJ and music producer from New York. In this episode, you will get to hear about his musical upbringing, growing up in Ridgewood, Queens, his journey with hip-hop, and his first time discovering house and techno. Buzzi gets deep with the philosophy of making electronic music. He talks about the relationship between a human and a machine when creating tracks. He also talks about the importance and efficiency of being an independent artist. The conversation I had with Buzzi was a refreshing and inspiring one to say the least. Make sure to check out Buzzi's Bandcamp for all the fresh music. Follow Buzzi on Instagram at Buzzi with 6 Z's to stay updated with upcoming shows and projects. Follow Beyond Normal on Twitter at BeyondNormal_, and on Instagram and Facebook at Beyond Normal Official. Thank you for tuning in, and now please welcome Buzzi. This is Beyond Normal Days, and today I'm remotely sitting down with Buzzy. How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm chilling, reclined right now on the little office chair
You said
behind the
reclining.
crib.
That's
Yeah,
good, man. Thank you for being on the show, being on the podcast. Allowing the listeners, to get a little insight in your journey. That it does encompass your musical journey. So thank you for that.
thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah. So let's start it off. Let the listeners know where you're from.
So where I'm from New York City, and pretty much lived in Bushwick in Brooklyn till I was like, I think my mom moved us to Ridgewood, which was not too far. Probably was like 8, 9,
Okay.
and then we ended up in Ridgewood, it's Queens. And yeah, I was pretty much in Ridgewood for my whole entire like teenage years and 20s. Um, it's just they're two neighboring like neighborhoods, so it's not far.
And how would you describe to the listeners, like, growing up in Ridgewood? And because you said Ridgewood is Queens, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And how's that? What would be?
Growing up in Ridgewood was it was cool. Like I had a lot of good times and I had a really fun childhood. That's where I met all of my friends, and we got lucky because we grew up on the same street. We all ended up on the same street, same
Oh,
block.
yeah.
So it's like I had like already I was probably like what 10, 11. I already had like it was like 9 of us already, 10, something like that. And I already had made my friends. Not I didn't make friends in school or anything. I was like, "Oh, I already got my friends. They're right here on
Mm,
my block."
yeah.
And so yeah, playing sports and hanging out on the stoop late night, just talking about anything. Just we were just really curious kids. But
That's cool that you say that, like, your friends were in, like, the same block, that you didn't have to make friends at school. Like, that does happen, but I
hmm
have a similar situation like that. The homie that I started DJing with,
hmm
we lived, like, across from each other. So from middle school to high school, it was just skating, and then we eventually got into DJing. But there was more stuff that we did. So it was like we would see each other at school. Of course, we would hang out, but then we would come back home. We would go. He said, go outside, hang out with the homie from the block. It was just we were neighborhood best friends already.
yeah, that and I guess that's why I said we were really lucky because I still have the same friends. I'm 36. I met them when I was like 10 years old. So
Damn, that's
that's like
tight.
those are like that's family, at this point. And they taught me a lot, and we raised each other.
Do any of them like are into music like you?
I mean, they're into music. Yeah,
Well, like
we
DJing,
always
like producing.
like creating music.
Hmm.
No, there was one of my buddies. He used to rap, super talented. Um, and he was like making beats because we started getting into that together. Like we were into hip hop, and I used to like rap too. We used to like put instrumentals on and freestyle and just try to like really sharpen, our pen and we wanted to be like these dope MCs.
Yeah, yeah.
And we're like, yo, let's make beats now. So we found what was it, Fruity Loops, and we
Hmm.
just started making beats and but then he kind of like drifted from that, started doing his own thing.
Hmm.
So yeah, I'm pretty much in a group of us. I think it's like 8 of us right now. I'm the only one that's making music.
Oh, that's clean though.
But they're
Yeah,
all
yeah,
into music. I mean, they study lyrics until now. They're like, yo, you heard that verse from this person, and like they're
yeah.
into it.
That
They
love
and
for
they
music
understand
is
music
always gonna be
production as
exactly.
well.
Yeah, like, that's always gonna stick with one. It's gonna.
hmm
You might not be doing it like in a, well, like, kind of, I don't want to say professional like manner, or just taking it to, it's more of like that's a love, that's a natural thing to them.
Oh yeah, man. They just love hip hop and music, and they get it. Yeah.
Yeah. And prior, like, that, I guess, musical upbringing with your friends, how would you describe your musical upbringing in your home? Like mom, pops, or just family members,
So
cousins?
yeah, so my mother's Peruvian, my father's Cuban, and you know, my mom always used to play music in the house, a lot of Peruvian music, salsa, and that was just always bumping in the house. Uh, I love that. That really a lot of my style comes from that. When we're talking about grooves,
Mm-hmm.
um, congas and bongos, and that's where it comes from that. And yeah, my family, they were very festive. They would find any reason to celebrate, and they'll stay up late playing music and doing their thing. And we were the little, me and my cousins was just running around, making noise. And but that was in the background, like always playing.
Yeah, and
So
you,
yeah, that played a big part.
you had musicians like because you said that they were playing music, so they would play like how you said the bongos and the congas and all that stuff too.
Well, my family wasn't really like ho- actually, one of my uncles in Peru, he plays the cajon. So he can play an instrument, but
Okay.
I didn't really grow up with him like that.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
like my family who came to New York, they really didn't play instruments like that. But I grew up on Harmon Street between Knickerbocker and Irving. This is Bushwick. This was a very big Mexican, Puerto Rican, Dominican, neighborhood street. So I could go outside, and yeah, there will be people outside with the bongos set up in
Oh
front of the
shoot! Oh
deli,
yeah.
posted up with playing live music, and I would just go to the store, buy what I need to get, a little bag of chips or whatever, candy. But like I was exposed to these things constantly, so music was just like always there,
Yeah, that's tight. Like
and
I'm literally just
specifically that style, the groovy salsa,
yeah.
rumba, all that.
And I have heard that like in your music as well too. Even when you sample some of the like, what would it be those vocals? They're like Spanish, vocals, but like I'm not sure what.
Yeah, so a lot of the yeah, yeah, the vocals, yeah, they come from like, old salsa records
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
or
You see, and it just goes hard
yeah.
because then also you just the vibe that you're putting in, like the way that you produce, techno and
Mhm.
your style plus that, it's oh man, it's amazing.
Yeah, I want to just recreate that feeling like when I was a kid in my mom's apartment where, they didn't have the best sound system, but the bass was thumping. You could feel it. I want to recreate that feeling. I want to feel like a
Mhm.
little kid again running through the house, and you hear the music in every room bouncing off the walls.
And you did mention
So,
that you got into hip hop before, or because I was gonna
mhm.
ask, like, when did electronic music come? But even if it's later, I would also like
uh,
to hear your hip hop
yeah,
journey.
definitely. So, yeah, hip hop is still like a big part of my life. Um, it will always be,
Hmm.
and I was so immersed in that. Like I was breakdancing.
Hey.
I was trying to incorporate all the elements. I was trying to do graffiti and
Oh yeah, okay. I see what you're saying.
yeah, freestyling, and I didn't get a chance to learn how to like mix records at that early age because we didn't have like turntables or anything like that. That came way later. But yeah, hip hop was the first thing. And later on, I would say probably when I was probably say when I was maybe 14, there was this channel called the Video Music Box. So like if you didn't have cable, I forget what channel it was, like channel 32 or something like that. It was a channel that they would play music videos, kind
Okay.
of like MTV, but you would call in and request, and then they will play the video for you. So this was called Video Music Box. And one day I was watching Video Music Box. I see like Mob Deep videos. I'm like, yeah, love this. Wu Tang, bunch of cool hip hop shit.
Uh-huh.
And then this one video came on with this person on the bed dancing with these two other people in the bed. And I didn't know at the time it was house music.
Oh.
But I'm like, yo, this sounds really cool. and I found out later it was The Bomb by the Bucketheads,
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Kenny,
yeah, yeah.
Kenny Dope.
You're right. Yeah.
So I'm like watching this video and I'm stuck. Like, yo, this is crazy. This beat is so like fun
Yeah.
and bright and groovy. And the video looks crazy.
You're right.
And
First, I was
so
like, "Wait, what music?" And then when you said the name, I'm like, "Oh yeah."
yeah, so man, when I and that will always be, one of my favorite records of all time. And it's crazy because Kenny Dope produced that.
Yeah,
And
Kenny
he's
Dope.
from
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Brooklyn.
Mhm.
I didn't know. So, um so that was like my first taste to like for like dance music,
Mhm.
electronic music, right? And then that faded away quickly. I went right back to hip hop. I was just doing my thing, trying to make beats, trying to learn how to get better at making beats and still writing rhymes and all of that. And occasionally electronic music will like pop in here and there. Like, my mom finally got cable for us. I was watching MTV, and then this is when MTV used to actually play like dance music videos.
Oh.
Now you got to YouTube them. And then so I was like, oh, damn, this does sound cool. But to be honest with you, growing up, and is really stupid, but growing up, like if you liked electronic music, that was kind of like corny, you
Mm,
know?
okay.
Like you supposed to like hip hop, and it is dumb, but that's how it was. So as I was getting more exposure to electronic music through music videos and things like that,
Yeah.
people driving around with their sound systems in the car, I would always like be like, fuck that shit. That shit is corny. But deep down inside, I was like, that shit is
This is
beautiful.
fire.
It's
Yeah.
really dope, and it does something to me. Um, so for a long time, I will be like, nah, I don't. That shit is whack. Um, and then and then I was like, you know what? Like, I like this. I'm gonna be honest with myself. This is really dope music, and I want to try to make this.
Mm.
I want to try to make this because at that point, when I was making hip hop, I feel like I was like, all right, I think I got a handle on this. Like, I could make a hip hop track. Like, I know I could find a dope sample, whatever it is, or make something from scratch. I was kind of reached to that point. I was like, this is getting kind of boring, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Let me try like a house music. Like, let me make a house track or a techno track. I didn't know techno was at that time. I was
Mhm.
confused. I thought techno was like
Everything.
house. Yeah,
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
like
Mhm.
house. So I just kept hearing the two terms and I just thought it was the same thing. So I started doing that and then after that, I just kept just going in deeper and deeper.
Damn, that's
Yeah.
and do you think that like you now like but you know how you said like it wasn't like cool to like house at that that at that moment in your life. Do you think it was because like not knowing the history like of
It
with the
was
roots of it or
no, it wasn't even that. It was because it wasn't tough music. Like
Mm,
it was viewed as something that's soft. Like,
okay, yeah.
and you listen to house music, like that dance music, yo, that's soft. Like
Yeah.
that's how it was, right? I was like, nah, I listen to Wu Tang. Like, I listen to that hard shit,
Okay,
gritty
I
hip
see what you're
hop. And
saying.
it's like,
Yeah,
all
okay.
right. And
Yeah.
those, that's what I was surrounded by.
Yeah.
Little by little, as I got older, I got to meet people who were really into freestyle music, R&B, house music, and just having conversations with them. I'm like, this is dope. Like, this is great music. So yeah, in the early teenage years, that if you were into dance music where I grew up, that was kind of like soft. Like
Yeah,
you
yeah,
didn't want
yeah.
to say that. I know, and it's so stupid, but that's how kids are, right?
Well, exactly. Yeah, at that time, well, at well, how about now? Like, well, just I know it's like going back and forth, but like, how about now? Do you think like if you were to go in that area, like house music, it could be well, because it's more universal now or more accepted, or people respect it. Like,
What I think about house music now?
Or like in your
Ha,
area,
you
like
should
if you.
ask the ones that thought that that shit was corny, what they think of it now,
No,
because
yeah, yeah, exactly.
they're over here dancing to it now.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, nice.
They,
Yeah, that's exactly like.
yo, what you think of this song, Buzz? Texting me shit. I'm like, yo, I've been telling y'all about this, but you know.
You did you know any people, like, going to, like, dance parties at that time, or would you hear, like,
So at the time, there was this bodega on the corner of Underdunk and Decal. I say Decal, but everybody else says DeKalb or something like that. I grew up saying DeKalb. So, and it was owned by Italians. Um, so yeah, I guess it was a deli or whatever, bodega, whatever you want to call it. They were cool people. They were into trance, techno, house music, and only reason why I found out is because we used to go to the corner store to get, chips or whatever, slushy, and they would post it up with their like, you know, cars, and they were playing that kind of music, hip hop too. And I noticed that at night they will all be there gathered, like doing whatever they were doing, and they were going out. So at the time, I didn't know where they were going to. And then as I got older, I started finding, oh, yo, the older cats that they had mad love for us, but we were just too young to go anywhere.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was just like, yo, this whole time, yo, the older cats on the corner, they were going out to like Sound Factory. They were
Mhm,
going to
yeah,
Cielo. They were going to Twilo. They were going to Limelight. Like all these legendary New York City clubs, from back in the day,
mhm.
which were playing all this great dance music. Um, so yeah, that's what they were doing, and then I got older, started having conversations. Oh, that's where y'all were going. Yeah. Oh, you should check out this DJ. Oh, you ever heard of this person? And then I started digging a little deeper, and but it was mostly like New York City house DJs and producers at first, because they were supporting the locals.
Who
I didn't
are
know about Jeff Mills or anything
oh,
till
okay, yeah,
way later. I didn't
yeah,
know about, Detroit till way later. I didn't even know about the roots of house or techno music till way later,
same. That
you
happened to
know?
me, yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I was like, I get it.
And, when
Yeah.
you first started, like, actually producing, like, that track that you wanted it to say, is that when you took it a little bit, you're like, "You know what? Imma take my music production to the next level," and actually were you already digging deep into the, like, music catalog of house and techno, or house specific?
Yeah, I would say probably when I hit like maybe 15, 16, I started digging a little deeper.
Hey, but you see, that's still young.
What's
That's
up?
cool compared to me. Like when you like getting
Yeah?
into house, yeah. Like, cause I'm telling you, I'm a late bloomer. I got introduced to electronic music. I think like the ending of high school. So like that's almost 17,
Mm,
18. But I think like me considering 15, oh well, 15, 16, 18 is not that big of a difference. But still, me looking back, I'm like, damn, if
mhm.
I'm a freshman or a sophomore in high school, like already, you know, being intrigued to house or techno, I'm like,
Right.
"That's pretty cool." Like, damn, I wish, but everybody has their own journey, so
Yeah, and you know what? Like I've met people who like they were going to raves at 14, 15, 16.
yeah,
I
yeah,
didn't go to a nightclub till I was 19. So
okay.
this whole time, like I say 15, 16, I was yes, like trying to make beats but I didn't experience like what a party was, that energy. I didn't feel that till, like kind of like you, like in the high school, I could finally go out. I had a little money.
Yeah,
I could afford it.
true. And, when did you get introduced? And I just thought about it right now, like Frankie Bones, because I know he's a staple for New York, like, rave.
Yeah, like I didn't get put on to Frankie Bones till way later. You know, just digging and having conversations with people like, "Yo, you don't know this person? They're from New York. You don't know Lenny D?" I'm like, "Nah, I don't know Lenny D. Like, I don't know who that is." But I'm gonna look into it, and when I looked into it, I was like,
Holy
"Oh, this is it right here." And I was like, "And they're from New York? Oh
yeah,
man, this is perfect." It's
yeah,
like
it's
to
like when
me,
you
those
said,
are
like
like gems right there.
yeah, like when you said that, the Italian the guys that own the deli. they were going to see the locals, but those locals are
They were
legends.
going to see
Yeah,
Frankie Bones,
yeah, exactly. See, like,
Danny
like,
Tenaglia.
yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I'm saying? So like, yeah, like it was because of them, the older cats. Really, they schooled me to some good stuff, man.
that's
When it came
tight.
to
That's
dance
tight.
music,
When did you actually start trying to mix records?
mixing records, I would say probably when in 2013.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, not too long ago.
Oh, okay. So,
You know,
so
I know
first it
people
was
who've
just
been
music.
DJing for
Yeah,
longer.
yeah, 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 yeah. So you for before, well, 2013,
Just
and
strictly making
yeah,
beats,
making music.
just
Oh,
strictly
shit.
making beats. Because honestly, I didn't want to DJ
Oh, okay.
at all. That wasn't like my interest. I just wanted to make beats because I, I that's what I like to do. I like to make tracks, and like growing up, you see like Kanye, making beats,
Oh,
and
yeah,
the
yeah.
Neptunes, and RZA, DJ Muggs, like
Hey,
all
shout
these
out
ill
DJ Mugg.
producers. Like that's who I wanted to be like. I wanted to be like them. They didn't DJ. They just
Yeah.
made beats. But then I found out like all these dope DJs produce, you know?
That's true.
And I
Yeah.
was like, wow, this is kind of cool. So yeah, I started DJing like 2013 is when I was like, all right, let me try this because, you know, I think this is gonna help me. This is gonna help my productions be heard,
Oh, true.
because then I could play my records.
True.
If I get a gig, I'll play my records here and there, see how people react to it. Because me just making these tracks and uploading them here or there, I noticed I was like, this ain't picking up, yo. Nobody knows who I am. Ain't nobody gonna pay attention to me. I gotta get out there. I gotta mix records. So a lot of that's why I remain like pretty much for the most part independent when it comes to this. Like, which a lot of other artists are that do this techno shit. Um, I just put out my records independently. I don't really hit up labels like that anymore. I make a track tonight. I'll put it out. I'll put it out tomorrow.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Straight up. I'll make the artwork and everything real quick. Boom, 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 and put it out.
Actually, that is true. Yeah, because since because I get your notifications on Bandcamp, and I
Mm-hmm.
think about it. That's true. Yeah, sometimes like I think it'll be like what in the middle of the week or just like
Random.
it's not a Bandcamp
I don't
Friday or like like specific
nothing,
thing.
bro. I
Yeah,
don't.
yeah,
I don't
yeah.
plan none of that.
But still, shout out to
If I
Bandcamp Fridays. but
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
but yeah, I know
Um,
what you mean. Yeah, yeah, it is.
I
This
make
guy's
a
wide open.
track. I'm inspired. If I'm inspired, yo, I'm making that track. I'm finishing that track tonight. If it's not tonight, it's tomorrow night, and it's coming out probably the next 2 days.
True
I'm
that.
putting it
Yeah,
up.
you're right.
If not that same night.
And
So yeah,
go
this I
ahead.
just been like pretty much like independent that whole time.
And like when it came to producing even just beats in general, like even with hip hop and in the house, were you even using like drum machines, like
No,
actual
I couldn't
hardware? Or
afford
just,
that.
oh, okay.
I couldn't
Yeah,
afford
yeah.
that. Fruity Loops was free,
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. So it's
so I was
all
trying to get.
just all like all just computer.
Yep, I was just trying to
Dang.
get the most out of. I was in my head. I was like, yo, like I can't afford this other stuff, but I'm not gonna let that like stop
That's
me
copy. Yeah, yeah.
from making what I'm gonna make. I'm gonna use what I have, and I'm gonna finesse it. Like I'm gonna make this sound right, and if not like that good, like close enough. So I got really crazy and with Fruity Loops, like really deep into that. Um, and then when I was able to like get a little bit of money, I said, let me get an MPC. It was
Yeah.
the MPC. I think it was the all black one. I think it was the 2500. Yeah, I think it was the 2500. I'm gonna keep it real with you. I loaded that MPC 2500. I was still trying to make a little hip hop with it and some house music and stuff like that. But I was like, this is not for me. This is too much.
Oh,
I'm so used to Fruity Loops. I could make something
oh.
real quick on Fruity Loops right now. You know,
And do you still
S-
use Fruity Loops?
still do to this
Hey,
day.
wow,
Yeah, to
sick.
this day. So I returned the 2500, the MPC 2500, and then I kept fucking with the Fruity Loops for a minute. And then I started like, you know, doing more research and like looking at gear a little bit differently. Like I wasn't intimidated anymore. Really,
Oh.
that's why I returned that 2500. I was intimidated. I was lazy. I wasn't willing to put the work in to learn the machine.
Mm.
When we know that techno is a relationship between a human and a machine.
Yeah, yeah,
And I was
true.
like, yo, how, like, come on, Jose, like, be real with yourself. Like, you trying to make this, but you trying to cut corners. That's how I was looking at it.
Hmm.
So I had to like talk to myself and be like, nah, you're gonna learn this. You're gonna have this relationship with the machine. The computer, I guess, is a machine too, but it's different when you have like a drum machine in front of you and pushing all these buttons or whatever. So I got the machine drum, the electron machine drum,
Oh
and
yeah.
I'll never get rid of it. It's gonna stay with me forever. And then I started getting into like the Euro rack modules, and I got a case. I had two cases, but I started realizing there was modules that I didn't need. So
Mm.
I basically like condensed everything into one case. So now I'm working off of, I got Fruity Loops. I could do my arrangements there, whatever, edits after I'm done jamming on the rack and the machine drum. And I got my little Mackie mixer, and
Oh
that's it. I'm
yeah, yeah.
happy.
And to of course to get a hold of all
Sorry
the.
if I'm like jumping
Oh,
everywhere.
no, no, no. This is what it like what it is. Like I'm gonna go back and forth as well too. I always like, oh shit, I forgot to ask him this.
Yeah.
But no, but so at this time, you're working already to be able to have have some money.
Yeah, I'm working. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm working like, little bullshit jobs here and there.
And when okay, because you said you discovered house with that music video. What about techno specifically? Do you remember like that journey or like that specific Warhammer? Because
Yeah.
right now,
Yeah, I remember. I remember it was when me and a bunch of friends went to, we rented a house in, I think it was the Poconos in Pennsylvania.
oh, okay.
So we were like, yo, let's just go out there, we'll probably snowboard, we'll go have some fun or whatever. This is like, I think the first time I've ever been outside like of New York City,
Hmm.
minus like traveling to like Peru to see my
To
family.
family, just like with you
Uh
and homies, like it's
yeah, yeah, Miami to go see family there. Uh but this was like a road trip. Like I never did a road trip like this. So I was like, this is cool. I'm going to be in nature in the snow, and this is kind of cool. So I was out there, and then my friends were like, yo, let's do ecstasy.
hey,
And I was like, all right, fuck it, like let's do it. And I was what, yeah, I was probably like 17, 18, I think.
yeah.
So I did ecstasy. I think I did like 2 pills that night. I had never done drugs before this ever. Maybe a little weed here and there, but that's weed. Um, and that shit fucking, I was in another world. And so one of the friends that came with us put on techno music, and I was like, "Yo, this shit sounds crazy." And I know the drugs definitely were like having an impact,
Yeah.
but I was like, "Yo, this sounds so dope." And after that trip, it stuck with me. Like I kept hearing the beats in my head, and I was like, "Yo, I gotta find more of this. I gotta
Yeah.
find more of this." And this is so we came back to New York, and I still had like AOL at that time,
Yeah.
and they had AOL radio, right? Because there wasn't YouTube,
Oh yeah.
there wasn't like radio stations really really playing techno, like hard techno.
Uh-huh. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I was like, damn, how am I gonna find this fucking music that this dude was playing? Because he was playing off of stuff off of a CD.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and I was like, damn, how am I gonna find this shit? Like he was telling me names, but I was like, how am I gonna find these people? I was searching, trying to download MP3s and stuff like that, but I wasn't successful. So there was AOL radio. So I went to AOL radio and I looked for the genre techno, and I just kept hearing radio like streams of techno. And then that's when I started getting really deep into it. I kept hearing different tracks, different tracks. I had that radio station on all the time. And Airwell Radio, they would put the artist and the track name.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah,
now
yeah.
I just started writing names down. I was like, I don't know who this person is, but I like this song.
Wait, so how were you downloading music?
There was Napster.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah.
There was like LimeWire, right? That
Yeah,
was the other one.
because I was we're not too far like of age, but I'm 90. I was born in 92.
Right.
So, but when I was downloading music, yeah, it was LimeWire,
And
and then
Napster.
no, I didn't. I never used Napster.
Oh no, I
So
had
yeah,
Napster.
I just used LimeWire. I remember LimeWire, and then whatever was the next one. I don't remember
Yeah.
what it was, but yeah, I would hear about Napster. But so you would download
Right.
music, and at this time, are you trying to recreate techno
At
or
this time, no, I wasn't trying to well,
create?
I was trying to make house music, and cuz I couldn't understand how to make that techno music that I just got put onto. I was just like, I don't understand how they're making this. This sounds too complicated. House, I was able to kind of untangle and be like, oh, okay, I kind of get the composition of this. I think I could recreate this. Um, it was after I started getting put on to like Jeff Mills,
Mm.
that I was like, okay, I want to take a stab at this. I think I want to take my production to another level and challenge myself.
And talk about that. How was your reaction with when discovering Jeff Mills?
I didn't know he was black,
Oh,
so I was just like, okay, this is dope. Whoever this person is, I don't even know where he's from, you know. But I kept seeing his name popping up, and I kept seeing that I liked a lot of his records.
yeah.
Um, so and then I started doing the research. I was like, okay, I really like this person. Who is this person? You know, now you start really like not only liking their music, but you want to know who they are. And I found out. I was like, okay, he's not white. This is good. Uh, he's from Detroit. That's great. You know, um, this is really inspiring. I want to be like
Yeah,
this person.
yeah.
You know, I want to be like Jeff Mills. I want to make records like that. I like his he's kind of like this like what sci-fi kind of character in a way.
Yeah, no,
Not
that's
to
yeah.
say that he's a character, but like when I think of Jeff Mills, I think I see, he's a human being, but he also has like this like kind of sci-fi kind of vibe, going on. So
I think yeah.
I just say that to say he was like a superhero to me.
Yeah, yeah, no, yeah,
It's almost fictional.
yeah, that, yeah.
Yeah.
And at this time, or was it is not at the time of when the Reshape EP when you created, no?
No.
Okay, 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 no.
Reshape was later.
Oh,
Reshape
okay.
happened because um I had just gotten my commercials driver's license, right? I didn't go to college. I went for like a semester. I just got the money that they give you.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. That
The f-
the FAFSA.
and I just took that money and I bought
Bueno,
fucking music equipment with that shit.
mhm.
um and I didn't go back. I was like, this shit is not for me, this school shit.
Hey, but that's not a problem. That's not a
So yeah, so I said, you know what? Let me get the CDL license. I'll drive trucks. I heard truck drivers make money. uh, and I was 19 when I had first got my CDL, and I think I started driving when I was already like 20. So I'm driving trucks for this furniture company in Sunset Park in Brooklyn. I was getting paid fucking peanuts, and I was driving mad far,
damn.
like Pennsylvania, mad far in Jersey, and I would drop off furniture with like I had like a helper, and that was my job. And one night I would come home very very late. And one night I came home. I'm sorry. I came to the warehouse. I parked the truck, but the garage door was closed, so I couldn't put the truck in. I had at this time was called Palm Pilots. I don't know if you remember the Palm Pilots.
No.
They were basically like the Sidekick phone.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so you had Sidekicks during that time. You had Blackberries, right? Two ways. where you could text messages, and then you had Palm Pilots, where basically it was just like, think about like a BlackBerry, with the screen and with a stylus on the side,
Okay, yeah.
and you could, like, you know what I mean? Like, that was an expensive device at that time. So I had my personal phone, which was a Sidekick, and the company gave me a Palm Pilot. I had that in my backpack, and I was like, all right, time for me to go home. Jump on the train. Uh, I had to go to my ex girlfriend's crib at the time. She lived in the Lower East Side, Manhattan, and she was like, "Yo, before you go home, come over here and come get your mom's knife." She had like a cooking knife that she was gonna give my mom. My mom wanted like a new knife. It was a really good knife.
Okay.
I was like, all right, cool. So I go over there, boom, go to Lower East Side, pick up the knife, put the knife in the backpack, close it up, get on the train again, go to Ridgewood. I get off the train, decal stop, L train, start walking up decal, and then I get to Underdunk Avenue, and I see three people to my right. Now, at this time, I was like, yo, I'm in my neighborhood. Like, these people better not try nothing. Like,
Yeah.
I literally live a block right there. All my people were right there hanging on the stoop. That's what we used to do all the time. We used to just still chill on the stoop all night, smoke a little weed and just bullshit till the morning. We weren't going out still like that.
Yeah.
So these three dudes saw that I grilled them. That was really stupid what I did, but I was, an idiot. And I bust a left on the dunk, and I look to my left, and I only see two across the street.
Oh shit.
And then I see one, and then I'm like, damn, where's the third one? Fuck, he's behind me. I know he's behind me. Damn. So I'm just walking, boom, and he sneaks up behind me. He like puts me in the chokehold, and we end up like scuffling a little bit and tumbling, and we ended up between two cars. So I'm pinned between two cars, right? Bumper to bumper, I'm in the middle, and then the other two come across the street. Boom, I get on the floor. He tries to choke me again. He does, and then one is searching me, and then the other dude is kicking me in the head
Oh wow.
nonstop. That shit felt like he was kicking me for like 5 minutes straight. I'm talking about like soccer kicks, you know? And I'm like, yo, chill, chill. I was like, yo, y'all gonna kill me. Y'all gonna kill me. And he's like, yo, shut the fuck up, like, or I'll put one in you. When he said that, I was like, oh, all right, I'm gonna shut up now because he probably got a gun.
Yeah.
I ain't trying to die right here, a block from where I live, between two cars. Nah. So I stood quiet. I took the ass whipping. He they took my backpack and then they dipped. So I know when they opened up that backpack and they saw that knife, they were like, yo, we can't come back here. They out here carrying butcher knives. yo, we gotta go to another neighborhood.
Damn.
So yeah, so soon as they dipped, I got up real quick. Adrenaline kicked in, ran to my
Run them.
block. Nobody on the block. Oh, I'm like, where y'all
Where's
at?
everybody at?
Y'all always here every night, and this is the night where y'all not at. Oh, y'all not here. Where they go? They went out that night. They went out to like some like Spanish club.
Ah,
I think they went to the Copa. This is when the Copa was still open. And then they got home after I got that ass whipping. They got there went out like an hour later, and I was like, yo, y'all too late, man. They already fucked me up.
what?
So
Oh
anyway,
god.
so the whole story brings it to Reshape. So Reshape, I was in the crib now recovering. Like, I wasn't like fucked up. I was still outside, but my face is mad lumped up, like you saw in that
That
picture.
picture, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
my shit was, yo. I look like, I don't know if you ever watched the that Martin episode where he fought that boxer. I don't know if you ever watched Martin, but Martin was like a comedy show, and he fought like this boxer in one of the episodes. Forget what the boxing name, and that boxer fucked him up. My face looked like that. I'll send you a photo later so you see what I'm talking about. You can laugh.
Yeah.
So I was
Man.
in the house, and I was like, all right, I have to do something with my time. So I said, let me make beats. That makes me feel happy.
Yeah.
All right. So I called it reshape because that moment not only reshaped my fucking face, but it reshaped my music because this is when I was able to stay home all day and really like focus on production and dig really deep to a harder, much harder techno style. So
Nice.
that's when you hear if you hear reshape compared to what I did with pastel voids is two different sounds.
So pastel voids, because this is,
Hmm.
you see, this is where I probably didn't do enough research. Wait,
Hmm.
that was your uh like your first release or
Pastel voids came
as
out
Buzzy?
before reshape, if I'm not mistaken.
So pastel voids, and this is you already, decided to go as Buzzy, and then as
Yes, I decided to go as Buzzy at that point. Yeah.
and pastel voids is techno as well too, or like a little bit more.
Just a little bit of everything. You should check it
Oh,
out.
okay. Yeah, I am
Yeah.
for sure I am.
From
Okay.
New York, my homie Charlie runs it with his partner Camille. They have a beautiful like taste in music. So yeah, they hit me up. They're like, "Yo, can you do like an EP for us?" Banged out 3 tracks. Got one remix there with my buddy Cioro.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Uh,
okay.
so that's his first. That's Cioro's first production ever.
Wait, let
He
me
wasn't
see.
even he wasn't even making beats. I'll let him tell you if you ever speak to him. He wasn't even making beats like that. He was starting to learn. He was like, I got a little gear. I'm fucking around. I'm starting to learn. And I'm just like, yo, man, like, nah, like, I know you got this. I was like, you want to do a remix for the EP? He was like, what? I don't even have like I'm still learning like my gear and stuff. I was like, you got this. Trust me. I sent him the stems. He busted it out. Beautiful remix.
Wait,
Now look,
is
he's out here busting out tracks, playing, in Europe and all this shit.
the remix is Second Article?
Second article.
Well, I have that track. Yeah, I have played it.
Oh, there you go.
Oh shoot, yeah.
That's
Oh.
Ciro's first production of like official like
Oh
release.
shit.
I'm sure he had some other joints like
Yeah.
in the works, but yeah,
Oh, that's clean. Fuck
right.
yeah. Damn.
So Pastel Voids came out before Reshape, and you
Yeah.
could hear the sound, like the difference in the sound.
Okay.
You know,
And
the,
then with Reshape though, like, like continue with that, like, experience, because so you did your
yeah,
history, you created that harder, like, you reshaped your sound.
right. And that came from a lot of things. Listening to other producers who were hard, fast, very drivey, and a little industrial, stompy shit. And I was like, yeah, this I want to go down this fucking tunnel right here. So I was making a bunch of shit, shrines, and I just really dove deep into that, and that's how Reshape came about, pretty much. And I chose the artwork because, like I said, that changed my life at that moment. Getting my ass whipped and
Yeah.
staying home all fucking day to make tracks really changed my life.
Did
So
you ever find out who the three guys were?
hell no.
Yeah, they never came
I
back.
don't even care. That's
Yeah,
just
no,
regular
yeah.
shit that
Yeah.
happens, like that's just the way. Not to say that Ridgewood was like this like really bad neighborhood,
Mhm.
mad like violent. It wasn't. Ridgewood for the most part was pretty safe and chill. There was shit happening in Ridgewood, but they knew how to hide it right. So like for example, Bushwick was a little more live.
Mhm.
Bushwick, you could see shit happening. It was out there for you to see it. Ridgewood, it was a little more discreet. It was more organized, but there was still crime and violence. Like I remember one time, um, there was mad police in front of the house, and I'm like, "Yo, ma, why is mad police here?" Like, there's a guy in the car right there who with a girl, and they both shot him in the head. I was like, "What? This is
No.
some organized shit." I was like, "Ridgewood is fucked up. It looks nice on the outside, but this shit was crazy behind,
Damn, yeah.
behind the scenes." But
Yeah. Yeah.
but anyway,
But
so
what happened
yeah.
after Reshape?
So what
Two.
happened after Reshape? You said?
Yeah, yeah. What happened after that? Like, with your uh were you taking like maybe your music persona more serious? Like kind of like of a artistry, like trying to get
Yeah,
out there.
for sure, for sure. So yeah, after Reshape, I was just like, I'm just gonna keep um making these tracks and putting them out independently. I still didn't have confidence like that to reach out to labels. I would do it, but I would get no feedback. And I was like, you know what? Like, I could take this energy and just put it towards my shit. Like, I'm
Hmm.
composing, writing all these emails. Hey, got some tracks here for you, this and that. I say, I'm just gonna put all that energy towards my own shit, build my own thing. Um, so yeah, I was just making a bunch of tracks and putting them out like that for a minute. I mean, till now, like you see,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
still keep cooking them up and throwing them out there. So
And you mentioned Zioro.
yeah,
At this time, how did that connection or how did the friendship come about with
so
him?
yeah, good question. So with Cioro, again, I was trying to do my own thing. Like, yo, how can I get my tracks out there? How can I get gigs? At this point, I was like, I would like to play and DJ and get better and learn. Um, so I reactivated my Facebook, and I I started like making connections with people who made beats too,
Hmm.
and then I ended up in a Facebook group for producers. Um, I believe shout out to I think Alex. I think his name is Alex Albert made that Mag Facebook group. I could be mistaken, but he's a producer too. So I ended up in this Facebook group with a bunch of other cats from New York who making beats, and Felton was there, Cioro.
Oh, okay.
And I never met him, I never spoke to him ever in my life. And I would post like my little tracks in this Facebook group. We would exchange feedback. It was really cool. Um, and one day I was working at a motorcycle shop for like the summer just to make
Okay.
some extra cash.
Hmm.
And so I was like, damn, this motorcycle shop is pretty dope. Imagine a techno party here. So, and I was like, you know what? I'm willing to like put up the money and everything myself because ain't nobody else gonna book me. So I'm gonna book myself. And
Yeah.
if I fail, I fail. But I'm gonna just try it and see what happens. So I don't know what I was thinking. I was like, oh, I can move all the motorcycles to the back, put like maybe like a chain to block it and all
Okay.
this shit.
Yeah.
So I messaged the Facebook group. I was like, hey, would y'all like go to like a techno party that was in a motorcycle garage? And the people that were in that Facebook group were like, hell yeah, that sounds crazy. Like that sounds kind of wild. And Felton responded, he was like, yeah, that sounds kind of dope. And then he messaged me on the side and was like, uh, like it might not be, good, like, there's gasoline and all this shit, you know what I'm saying? It could be dangerous, pretty much.
Yeah.
And so that's how we made a connection. He saw that I was like trying to like do my own thing. Little did I know he was doing his own thing too.
Ah.
He was, putting together alchemy. He was putting together the black hole
Oh, okay. Yeah.
with
There we go.
Christina, his partner, aka
I just
Adrestria.
yeah. Uh-huh.
So they were both like on some shit where they were like, "Yo, we're gonna throw, we're gonna do our own party. We're gonna call it the Black Hole Alchemy." I didn't know what that was at the time when I met Felton. We were just making a connection off the strength of, we like this music, we make this music, and we wanna get out there. So yeah, that's how we met. He was like, what you doing? What you doing today? I was like, I'm not doing anything. He's like, yo, you want to come meet me? I'm playing at the Lot Radio in
Oh,
Williamsburg. I'm doing like a little set there. I was like, all right, I was like, man, he seems kind of nice. Like, I'll go meet up with him. I don't have any friends in this scene, or I don't know anybody. This would be like my first friend. So,
yeah.
uh, I met up. We hit it off. He was like, we kind of talking about the way we grew up, kind of similar in some ways, and I was just chilling. And that night, I think, or the following night, he was doing one of the they would Christina and Felton were doing like a black hole party, if I'm not mistaken. I didn't get a chance to go, but Yeah, that's how we made it. That's how we made that
Yeah,
connection.
connection.
Yeah.
And when did you officially become part of? So is the Black Hole and Alchemy like the same thing, or they're two separate parties?
So
Yes.
alchemy is the collective,
Okay, there we go.
right? And that would be us three.
Hmm.
And the black hole is our party,
The event, yeah, the party.
you
Okay.
know?
And when did you
So
officially like, become part of Alchemy?
I played the first party that I played, I believe was the 1 year anniversary,
Oh, okay, cool.
right? Where we booked um 138.
Yes, I seen that flyer. Is it like the comic?
Yeah. 138 Umfang, I think.
I think that one's in there. Yeah.
El El Sangre, I think. Yo, my bad if I'm forgetting, but
And then I was gonna go on Instagram, but it's down. So
yeah, no,
so
it's all
I
good.
can even check the flyer. But no,
Yeah,
you're actually correct. I remember when I looked back at
right.
that. Yeah, like El Sangre, Umpen,
Mm-hmm.
138, you, Cioro, and
Right.
Adrestia, right?
She
Or no?
wasn't playing yet.
Okay, okay,
She wasn't playing yet, but she was definitely cooking in the background.
okay.
So so yeah, that's how I met Felton. That was the first time I played, and that's when it was like, yo, yeah, they were like, yo, we like you, and you get it, like the sound, like, you should come like fuck with us. And I was like, yo, man, I fuck with y'all like on a lot of levels. We share a lot of the same values. Um, it felt right. It felt like like I was joining like a family. So they
Okay.
they they brought me in, and we've been together ever since.
And how would you describe those first parties that you guys were like that throwing with, or the black hole parties, like where people were coming out there, like the sound?
Mad fun,
Damn.
mad fun, mad fun, yo. It was. I got to really meet a lot of cool people and meet really talented producers and DJs and get put on to a lot of shit that involves putting together a party.
Mm-hmm.
You know, everyone knows that costs money, but like there's a lot of other shit that's involved. So that was man, I wouldn't trade that for anything. Those are the most fun times. Hell yeah. And
And
I say it
yeah.
like that because now it's like, with the pandemic and all that shit, like we haven't thrown a black coal party since. So,
Oh,
it kind of sounds like it was a long time ago.
hey, but there's more to come because with during
I
the
hope so.
yeah, because well, I would say so because with the pandemic, all three of you too have really been developing, um, or how to say I guess more. There's more eyes on all of you as well too.
Yeah,
To say the
for
least.
sure. And that happened because we were fearless. We were like, you know what? Nobody's gonna book us. We're gonna do our own thing. And it was because of that people were like, okay, like they're here. They're here. And you know what? They're good people and they got a good sound. So people started embracing us now.
Yeah.
And it took that fearlessness. We had
Um.
to put up our own bread. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like we
That's a
had to
lot of.
do all that to to get to wherever we are at now, whatever that is. You know what I'm saying?
How did the connection between Billy and Nathan and also Keon, which is Keenan,
Man.
138 and
So yeah. So like, we booked 138. They flew out here, live set, killed it. And I'm just like, yo, these dudes are like us. Like they grew up in like kind of like the same way. Neighborhood, uh kind of like the same slang, um, same kind of musical influences, and I just hit it off with them. And we just kept talking ever since we booked them. We just kept like supporting each other, messaging each other. Having just conversations about music and our personal lives as well. So not only did we become like musical partners, but also friends.
just in general, yeah.
Yeah, and I grew closer to Billy,
Billy, yeah.
DJ Angel Dust. Not I got mad love for Nathan, but I just we clicked a little bit more, and to the point where we were like, yo, let's make a record together. Let's make records
Oh,
together.
yeah.
Let's send each other shit back and forth and build. And that's what we were doing. He was in LA for a little bit, and then he was here in New
Oh, he
York,
did move. Yeah, he did move to New York for a
right?
bit. Yeah.
And when he was here, we were busting them out, making tracks, and we got something coming out pretty soon. Actually,
Yeah, it's on Textual.
that's gonna be on Texture, yeah.
Yeah,
So
because
like they embrace me too and their family, So that's like I noticed like a lot of these things, like, man, people show me love, and they embrace me. I guess I'm not a piece of shit. But yeah, like I'm very grateful for all the opportunities and all the people I meet, and I try to treat my relationships with these people like gold, and I don't take it for granted at all.
yeah, as a like outsider perspective, like
Yeah,
when I see
because
you guys on.
textural, and they got their own thing. They
Mm-hmm.
got their
Yeah,
homies.
yeah.
They got their own thing, and they're like, nah, yo, we fuck with Buzz. Actually, I'm like the red man to the Wu Tang.
Oh,
You know
okay.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like they're the Wu. I'm Red Man. I'm like, yeah, he's part of the family. He's not an official Wu Tang member, but
What do they call him? Like sometimes, like well, like in general, when they say like, "Oh, okay, he's an honorary member."
yeah, I guess so. I'll let them say
Yeah,
that. I'm not gonna, claim that title, but I'll let them tell it. But
yeah,
I feel like the Red Man.
the love and no, but just also the
Like
respect between one another.
exactly.
You can see that, like again, from an outsider's perspective, you can see the connection that you and Billy, and then just with Keon when he also like shares your stuff. You can tell that all
Yeah,
four of
and with
you.
Keon, I met him obviously through Billy,
Mhm.
and just like Instagram, and just, yo, I fuck with you. This track is dope, and I met him in person, met Keon in person when he flew out here. I think he just flew out here to chill, if I'm not mistaken. And we were talking about production, and I was just like, "Yo, let me hear some tracks. Like, what you like? Turn on the laptop, you know." And he's like, "All right." He's like, "Oh, I'm still working on them." And so he was playing the tracks like they were like house music, and I was like, "Yo, these are fire." And I was like, "Yo, you remind me of Mr. G."
Ooh, yeah.
And I'll never forget his face when I told him that. Keon, his eyes lit up. Oh, word, yo, that's a compliment. I was like, I'm not, bullshitting you. Like, this sounds like it don't sound exactly like Mr. G, but you got like that
Yeah.
flavor. Like the hi hats are just hitting in a certain way, and yeah, that's how I met Keon. Man.
This is probably like just kind of like random, but where did there was a like an Instagram story, and I think you're with somebody, and somebody said, "Look, Keon, he's playing some groovy shit" or something like that, and you're playing music. Like, what is like, that was recent, like the recent trip that Keon went to.
Yeah, because all right, so I always loved groovy music, right? Like
Mhm.
something with swing, something with movement, something very percussive. Um, so when I try to make these tracks, I always try to incorporate those elements.
Yeah.
Um, but the story behind that party was just because that video or whatever is because uh my homegirl who you hear in the background, she loves house music, and she doesn't really. I mean, she doesn't really like techno like that. And so she thinks techno is really hard, but I was playing some groovy shit that night, which was she was like, "Oh wow, it's not that hard." That's all it was. That's all it
And I
was.
saw that, I was like, "Oh, that's funny." Because yeah, because like knowing when you listen to your music, it is, it's hard, it's fast,
Yeah,
um, you know, uh,
but
but
I
one
try to
thing,
maintain
yeah,
like that that
that groove,
that that
yeah,
swing.
that swing, yeah, there we go, yeah, yeah, I
Because
can.
low, like I love when I can make a track that's at a very high BPM, like I don't know, a 160 or 165 BPM, and then you play it for somebody, and I always love this reaction when they go, yo, like, what BPM is this? I'm like, yo, it's like 160. They're like, that shit don't sound 160. It sounds
Oh,
slower.
yes, yeah.
I love that reaction because to me, that's what I wanted to achieve right there. I want it to be fast, and it is fast. But when you're hearing a dance to it, it don't really sound fast, and that's because of the in my opinion, that's because of the groove and the movement and the that it has body
Mhm.
and swing to it. But that shit is really actually is 160 though.
And usually those tracks too, they're like a 160. Like I'm like, and how you said, I think it's like 140. I'm like, all right, cool. And then I, load up onto Tractor, something I see the difference. I'm like, ah, damn. And
You're
then
like,
I,
oh shit.
yeah, but then you try to like lower it, and it doesn't even sound like kind of like, ah, damn, this shit has to be played at a fast.
There you go.
Yeah, yeah.
You got to play it at that speed, or do your own thing. I'm sure you could find something really
There is, yeah,
incredible at a slower
yeah,
speed.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, you can get creative and everything, but for the most part, you feel
Right.
like this is just personally when I like go like,
Yeah.
I'm like, "God damn, I have to
So
like
that yeah, when I'm
find the middle
making
ground."
tracks, that's definitely one of the things that I want to achieve. If I'm gonna do something fast, I want it to. I don't really want it to. At times, I don't want it to sound fast.
Yeah,
On purpose. You know what I mean?
true.
I want the listener to kind of like be like, oh, what the fuck?
And talk about being the first Peruvian to play Tresor.
Yeah, well, I was like looking at like articles and I did a Google search and I was like, yo, like, damn, this is a big moment for me. Like I'm gonna play in Trezor, you
Mhm.
know, man. Um, am I the only one? Like I know I'm not the only like Latino or whatever, but Peruvian, maybe. I started looking it up. I couldn't find anyone. And the reason why that means so much to me is because, to keep it real, there's not a lot of that I know of. There isn't a big Peruvian presence in the techno.
Yeah,
There's a big Colombian presence,
true.
100%. Mexican,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
uh, not a lot of Dominicans, not a lot of that again that I know of Puerto Ricans like that. Uh, or maybe I just don't hear about it. But like that shit meant a lot to me because
Mhm.
I know that there's other Peruvian people out there who do like techno. Like, oh shit, look, one of us,
Yeah.
one of us is out there, getting busy, and you know what I mean. He's representing. So that's the only reason why I was like, wow, like it was emotional, and that shit did spark shit because people send me messages like, yo, fucking go represent. Like,
Hell yeah.
we needed to see that, and then fast forward, we just did, I think, the first Peruvian independence party that was with a techno sound and mood ring right here on Myrtle Avenue.
Oh,
And the people that put it together was a collective called Drip. Um, that's consists of Kevin and his brother Miguel.
so
Killed it.
so this party that you're
And it
talking
was,
about
I don't know if it was because of that, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I know that,
sparked something,
that
yeah.
yeah, that's probably maybe sparked something like, yo, okay, we out here. We could do this.
Yeah.
We might not have like a big Peruvian presence, but we're gonna inspire other folks.
Did you and after
Word.
that Tresor party or before, when did you start getting like more like I guess respect and like I don't yeah, I don't wanna say like respect because respect was always, in a sense given, just in different levels. But like when do you think like these like more established labels or
Mm,
collectives, clubs started reaching
like
out?
you're saying, like what, like pinpoint what time, like, or what happened?
Like or
I can't really tell you when like people started like reaching out more and being like, yo, like, I'll fuck with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, would you be interested in making something for our label? I can't really tell you when, but I think I know why. And it's because, again, it goes back to, and I tell this to every producer I meet who's like, yo, like, what should I do? Should I like send my shit to labels and demos? I'm like, yes, you could do that. I used to do that. But honestly, cook your shit up. If you gotta pay for mastering, pay for mastering. If not, try to learn how to do that shit yourself. Do the artwork yourself. Put that shit out independently. At some point, the more you do that, it's gonna hit. It's gonna land on somebody's ears, and people are just gonna start fucking with you more, and they're gonna be like, "Yo, nah, this shit is actually good music." And then it starts spreading, and like, "Yo, who is this person, Buzzy? I see this name all the time, or whatever." I
Yeah.
don't know if people are actually saying that, but that's how I would. That's what I would say if I'm like, "Yo, I keep seeing this person popping up. Let me look into it. Oh, dang, he got mad tracks actually out, and they're pretty dope. You know what? I got a label. I would love to have one of the tracks, his tracks on my label." So, I think that's what happened, and people were like, "Nah, like, yo, nah, Buzzy gets busy."
Yeah, and I also too, like, my introduction to you, I think, was one of those, um I don't wanna call it a freestyle, or maybe you were freestyling, but you were using, like, a rendition of a song, like, and do you remember that?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
It was, like, one of the first
I
ones.
did like a couple of those.
Yeah, exactly, so I think it was maybe one of the
Um,
first one, maybe second one, but I know either Keon or Billy posted it up. I'm like, "Whoa, who is this guy?"
yeah. Honestly, like, I'll be honest, like, Instagram and social media, I'm not. And at first, I'm not that savvy. Like, I'm not the best writer, and I was just like, you know what? Let me have fun with this Instagram social media thing, and maybe I can make some friends. If they find it funny, they find it funny. But that was basically me just opening up a little more on social media and showing like, hey, like, I do like beats and I do like to make music, but I'm not always serious. I'm actually never serious. I mean, I'm serious, but for the most part, I like to joke. I like because that's how it was when I grew up. We used to crack jokes on each other. We used to, laugh all the time, and that's really a part of my personality. I like to smile. I like to make jokes, and so I say, I'm gonna act up on the social media thing. I'm gonna do a little like remix. I'm gonna do my own.
Yeah, yeah,
So
that
I just came up with this thing, and then people were like, "Yo, this guy, yo, you stupid, you funny, ha ha, ha," whatever. So I think that was cool to do because I got to make friends off of that. As silly as it sounds, but people are like, "Oh man, yo, I like your music," and you know what? You actually have a good sense of humor.
yeah, and at the end, I think you've also recently done another one as well. I'm like, "Oh, man," I'm like, that's cool, you should keep it doing because it's like, you do it so smoothly, effortlessly, and, like, just dope. I'm like, "Oh, hell yeah, like, that's
Yeah,
sick."
but those gotta come out just naturally,
Look,
It
of
gotta
course,
be
yeah, yeah, yeah.
something that's happening in the times. I just gotta be inspired,
And you'll know, like, "Oh, you know what? This is the perfect
Yeah,
time for this one."
exactly. Yeah.
And,
Okay, so I can't promise you another one.
but we'll see if it's come natural, but, hey, you
Uh,
listeners, at least it's the other ones are still there though, no, right, on your page?
I think so. Yeah,
I
yeah,
believe so, so if
yeah,
you're listening, go down that Instagram and see if that video's there.
yeah.
It's
We
tight.
just having fun. That's all. We can't always be too serious with this shit.
And, talk about your connection with your music and your love of, 'cause it's both motorcycles and cars?
So yeah, I love motorcycles, and I love cycling. Period. I have a bicycle too, and I just
Oh,
love
okay.
riding around. But I was like, you know what? Like, I want to get a motorcycle. That sounds really cool. So I was looking at like sport bikes and all of that. They were very expensive. I really couldn't afford that. So I said, let me take on a project. So I went and got this old school 1973 Honda CB350F, pretty much in its original uh, form. Got it for like, I paid like 2 grand for that. And I learned how to ride a motorcycle that same day. And I was getting comfortable with it, but then I started looking at the bike, and I started getting into it's more of like different styles called like a cafe racer style. So I started getting into that a little more, and I said, you know what? I'm gonna strip this bike apart, and I'm gonna try to customize it, and do like a complete like resto mod project. I didn't have all the tools. I had tons of help, tons of advice, forums, in-person conversations, being at the motorcycle shop, hanging out there. Um, and I learned a lot. And yeah, that was a really fun project. And And then the bike is done now,
Oh,
finished.
okay.
I ain't doing nothing else to that bike. That's it. It's too much money. It's a lot of shit. The car um, is a new project that I took on because when COVID hit, I was like, damn, like I got my beats and that's cool. I got back into video games, got a PlayStation 5, all of that.
Oh shit.
And I was like, I need something else though, because as much as I like making beats, I don't like making beats all damn day. I want to play video games sometimes, or I want to ride my bike, or
Something a little bit.
get on the motorcycle. Where I can't ride the motorcycle all the time. Sometimes it's snowing or whatever. I said, let me take on a car project. So one of my homies was talking to me, was like, yo, man, like you should do like a vintage BMW. And I was looking and looking, and I was like, man, this is really expensive. These old Beamers, and the parts are crazy. And then another friend was like, yo, what about a Datsun? I was like, oh, Datsun, yeah. I kind of forgot about those.
Mhm.
So he reintroduced me to it. I was like, damn, this is beautiful. So I found this 1978 Datsun 280Z shell in Alabama. Hit it off with the seller. We're still talking to this day. Had it shipped out. Got the engine. The engine is from a Silverado Chevy engine, 5.3. This when I'm done with this car is gonna be a monster, whenever that is. But yeah, so all of that just kind of ties back into techno because techno came from Detroit. Detroit is the Motor City.
Yeah.
The industrial vibe, the grease, the smell, the
The
metal
mechanical, yeah.
slamming against each other, the heat, um, the cuts and bruises, the dustiness, um, and then within all that there is life, right? There is us within all that, and that's to me that's techno. It's all of that, and then this soul, this us is there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Again, the connection between human and
Machine.
and machine, and uh I think all of that just it makes perfect sense why techno came from Detroit.
Yeah,
You
Mike
know?
Banks has that in this Red Bull like
Hmm.
Music Academy, and I remember listening to that, and he was talking about that. He's like in Detroit, he's like majority of a lot of people had a job which consisted of working with cars, or some type of mechanical, technical type, you know, position. So he's like that translated into like the music that they were making, and I was like, oh wow, like that was a cool perspective that I first heard, from him. I was like, oh wow, like that makes sense. That does make sense. And then you listen to some
Hmm.
technical, and then we know that industrial side or just techno in general, like a, a classic techno song, that you'll hear the mechanics. And when I was going through your stuff, I'm like, oh look, I remember he's into motorcycles and cars, and like the music that you make. I'm like, oh, that goes in hand. I'm like, I want to ask
Hmm.
him about that.
Yeah, definitely. I'm glad you asked that because when you're, like I said, when you're around that, you may not be like you know paying attention, but there is a rhythm. There is some sort of like sequence with these sounds and the smells and all that shit. And whatever it's doing to you when you go home and you're like, yo, let me make a track tonight. Somehow, some way, that is definitely incorporated.
Yeah.
The like I said, the metal slamming against each other, stuff like that. So sometimes you might be paying attention to it. You might be wrenching on a motorcycle engine.
And you catch a
Um,
little groove or some
and
pattern, and you're
yeah,
like,
from something, a machine that's like they're being pressed, or
mhm.
and you're like, oh, that kind of sounds kind of cool. Let me take my phone out and sample that real quick
Sample.
and
Okay,
record
yeah.
that, and then you go home and then you just made something out of fucking sounds at a garage. So I'm 100% that shit is connected,
Yeah. I'm like, how much OG can that get? Like, that's
right?
tight. If you weren't like making music, what do you think you would be doing?
Damn, probably be dead, yo.
Oh shit.
I don't know. What?
Man, oh dude.
What would
Working
I
on
be
cars?
doing?
Maybe. You
Nah,
think you'd keep into
I'll probably honestly I'll probably be damn. That's a heavy question. For real. I can't think of my life without music.
I still like, I know like when I was writing this question down, I was like,
Yeah.
I know, like, it was gonna be, kind of like hard to really say because in a sense, I still feel like, your journey, what you're doing and you have
Hmm.
experience, it was meant to be. So it's like it's more of a not even a rhetorical question, or it's a question that can't really be answered because, well,
Yeah,
I would be doing the same thing because you're in a sense destined to be what
yeah.
you're doing right now.
I think I would have liked to do something that was that had to do with like I don't know, like building shit.
Okay.
I don't know. That sounds fun. Like something like woodwork or something with stone. Uh, I don't know. It sounds like I might be. I probably would have been a construction worker then.
You're describing construction.
You're like, that kind of sounds like a construction worker, a carpenter.
Yeah. And
Nah,
how
you know
you
why I say that though? Because like sometimes I'll watch YouTube videos and I'll put it on in the background, and it's this person that I follow who's in Canada, where it's like 5 hour long videos of this guy building cabins from scratch,
ooh,
like gathering the wood there, chopping it down, making everything remotely. And yo, I just love watching those things. That's so inspiring. I'm just like, man, I wish I could do that. So yeah, maybe if I wasn't making music, I'll probably be out in the fucking woods somewhere building shit,
hey, it's still creating, so I've
create
still
still
yeah,
creating something, and
yeah,
still being hands on with something.
yeah. And then,
Yeah.
what are you currently listening to right now? Are you listening to anything?
Oh hell! Oh, what I'm listening to right now, man, that new West Side Gun.
Oh, I have not checked it out.
Oof, man, that side B is crazy.
Is this might be a like a newbie question, but is West Side Gun from?
Buffalo, New York.
Oh, okay, there we go. All right, and you like respect all the like the Griselda label,
Oh man, forget it, bro.
the
Real
vibe.
spitters. The beats are crazy. We could get into that if you want to, but that's something else right there.
Oh, what
Yo,
are?
last night I met, and I'm gonna shout him out because this shit was mad inspiring. Shout out to Skinny Pablo. If you
Oh,
ever hear this, you
wait,
know who that
Skinny.
is?
Oh, is he from the? He works with the Dr. Green Thumb podcast, no? But he produces specifically. I know he's on a break.
Yeah.
Is he from
Yo, you know
LA?
who that is?
Well, not personally, but
Oh, you
I'm
heard.
yeah, like yeah. But go ahead. Oh shit, it's
Yo,
cool.
I met this person yesterday, last night. He was spinning his own 40 clear 45s with his own tracks. This is all his beats. And I'm chilling outside. It was like a wine thing. So I'm over here sipping on some beautiful juices. And I hear this hip hop in the background. I'm like, nah, what the fuck is this? This sounds crazy. I went to the booth. They had a little booth set up, and I'm like, "Yo, who are you?" He started laughing. I'm like, "Nah, bro, who are you?" He's like, "Oh, my name is Skinny Pablo. I think his name. He says his name is John." I was like, "Yo, you are playing the most incredible instrumentals I've ever heard in years. It was the most dustiest, filtered, nasty, detuned fucking hip hop I ever heard in my life, bro. Last night was inspiring like a motherfucker.
And he's in New York right now?
He was I think they just booked him to come play some tracks.
Because I know I'm telling you because with the pandemic, I started listening to the Dr. Green Thumb podcast, which is Be
Mm-hmm.
Real from Cypress Hill, and
Right.
they have a podcast, and he was the like the engineer. You know how a lot of these podcasts,
Okay.
it's a video they have like who
Uh-huh.
handling all the levels and everything, but he would get on the mic as well too. So for months, man, for the months, I know who Skinny Pablo was. And
Yo.
it's funny he said a wine thing because he loves wine and
Right.
like and all these things. But I know somebody I don't know. I went like on a forum and somebody he hasn't been on the podcast, but he's probably
Yo.
doing other stuff like producing because I know
Yo,
he
he
did it with
fucked my
yeah.
head up.
Damn, that's crazy.
And
You met him
and I
last
haven't I
night.
haven't it's been a while. It's been a while since a producer has fucked my head up like that. Like, you know, Billy fucked my
Yeah,
head up.
yeah, that also happened to me too.
Nathan, that last EP that
Oh
that
yeah,
Nathan put out,
yes.
I can't. I'm like, I got school. I was like, I need to work on my shit. This is crazy. Um, the shit that Max Watts put out,
Oh yeah.
fuck my head up. Um, the shit that False Witness put out, fucked my head up. The shit that Cioro put out, fucked
Mhm.
my head up. I mean, I could keep going. These are just people that I'm seeing and I'm exposed to directly. So, uh, but Skinny Pablo, damn,
Damn, that's crazy
damn,
that you said
son.
that. And also, like, we're doing it
I
right.
told him, I was like, yo, I'm sorry to cut you off. I told him, I was like, yo, you know, when I go home and I sit down and I make a track, I was like, even though we make different music, you do hip hop, I do techno. I was like, I'm gonna be thinking about your ass because I feel like you just schooled me. And he's just laughing, like, yo, you crazy. But yeah, man, that was dope.
That's a trip, though. I'm telling you because, like, that's my introduction, like, to him. Like, and that's months of knowing him, and then you met him last night. Fuck yeah.
Crazy, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, I've been listening to Skinny Pablo, West Side Gun. I always go back to like a lot of old school Wu Tang shit, Nas. But that's on the hip hop tip. As far as like
Mhm.
techno, what I'm listening to, a lot of new cats, and they're so talented, man. One morning, ooh, I gotta shout out One Morning. He's
Oh,
from LA, if I'm not mistaken.
one morning.
Yeah. Oh, you
Yeah, I need
gotta
to check
find
that
your
out.
One
Yeah.
Morning.
What about
Um,
because you mentioned
he's from LA.
wait, I was just gonna say because you mentioned some of
DJ
the
Headwound.
from LA too.
I don't know where he's from.
Oh.
Ill producer. Drag. I think that's how you say it. From Russia.
Let's see.
Fucking damn, I could keep going. Let me chill.
Have you checked out the collective with Max Watts, extrasensory perceptive collective with Creighton or Croton and Fletch?
You know, I don't. Sometimes I don't remember the names, but if you play it, I could be like, oh yeah, that one.
No, but yeah, the whole little collective with with Max Watts and his homies,
Yeah,
they're fucking killing it too.
and I love that interview you did with him. That shit was inspiring, man.
Oh, I know that was clean. That was
Yeah.
I was like super nervous because how I think I'm not sure if it was recorded, but I remember I told him I'm like I remember going through your stories and everything, and then one time I
Mhm.
was like I have a little journal and I'm like, and I wrote his name down like okay like I always
Yeah.
put like potential like people that I want to like interview, and I
Yeah.
wrote his name down, and then like 2 3 days later he hits me up, he DMs me, he's like, hey, when we doing a podcast, I was like,
Yeah.
holy shit,
Ooh,
like
Kilborn. Shout out to Kilborn. Oof,
Kilborn.
the homie. What's it? Who? Julian
Oh,
Andres. I think that's how
Andres,
you say it.
yeah he's from LA, yeah.
Fire producer. Um, damn. These people are just popping up in my head now. These is all people that inspire me. Mo. You know what I mean? Moma Ready.
Yeah, I saw them for 4th of July weekend. I was
Yeah.
in LA.
Aquia. Uh, like Shy Boy. Damn.
How did
I'm
that
so lucky
connection
to
with,
be in
like,
New
your
York,
phone?
for
Yeah, how did
real. What
because you
happened?
have releases on House of Alter, no?
It's a collab track with me and Felton Cioro, and
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
we cooked that one up together.
And do
Love
you
that
know,
track.
Ace Mo and MoMA, like, ready like, personally? Or yeah, just connected with the music?
You know how I met Smo? I got booked to play this gig in Holo. I was opening. Nobody was there. Fucking room was empty, and he was set. I think he worked there. He was setting up,
Oh.
and then I played a track, and he was like, I was just testing the sound. He's like, "That's you?" I was like, "Yeah, that's me." He's like, "That's just dope." I was like, "Yo, man, like it's nice to meet you." And then ever since then, I see him every now and then. And there was this one time, I don't know if he remembers this, but we had a conversation. I was like, "Yo, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this on this interview because you know what I'm saying. I want him to hear this." Uh, we were like, "Yo, let's collab. Let's make an EP." He might not remember this. It was loud. We was in Bossa Nova, but I remember this shit because I was like, "This would be crazy," because I was already like planning in my head. I was like, "Man, with my kind of drums and like his melodies, if we were to fuse this, who knows what this would sound like?"
No.
So, because my shit is hard
Yeah.
and fast, and his shit is very like beautiful and bright and still like Still dusty, still hard, but like, not. I mean, well, let's be real. You're gonna compare it to the shit that my shit is mad fucking hard and fast.
Compared to yeah.
Yeah, like I'm gonna just keep it real. But and his shit, I'm a fan of his shit, and just a fusion of that would have been crazy. But who knows? Maybe that'll happen one day. Who knows?
Damn, if this goes to Smo, hey, we need that. We need that. EP. We need that collab EP.
I'm gonna call him out. Imagine a Buzzy and Asmo EP. That would be insane.
I know for reals. That shit would be
Nobody will
insane.
see that coming. Nobody. They'll be like, "What the fuck is this?" All right, I gotta
Mhm.
see how this sounds.
Yo, we need
This
that.
motherfucker with this style and this person with this style. Oh, this is gonna be either very bad or very good.
No, no, I think it's gonna be very good. I can see that shit for sure.
you know. But
Damn,
anyway,
man.
I'm a fan. I'm a fan of him, man. Fan of Moment Ready. Um, yeah,
How
I'm
did
just
you
really
like
inspired.
when False Witness reposted your track and he said like that you make music?
Oh, man, it's always love since day one with False Witness. Always showed me love. Always kept it real. And man, all of that just feels really special. I don't take any of those things for granted, man.
Man,
Because
dude.
every time I make a track is emotional. I know
Yeah.
sometimes there might be some people who think, "Oh man, this guy just makes tracks. He's just putting them out." And like, for what? Why so many tracks? Whoever. I don't know. People have like different kind of
For us, for the
takes.
DJs.
Some people have different takes on the production. Some people are like, "Nah, I'm not putting anything out for a while. Like, I really want it to be right," and I respect that as well. But that's not to say that because my output is higher than others. It doesn't mean that every time I make a track is not emotional. Every time is emotional
Yeah.
because I'm making all these tracks based on an emotion. Something happened
That
to
is
me
true,
that
yeah.
day. I heard something. I was inspired. I'm angry. Whatever it is. So yeah.
Man,
But shout out to Full Witness for this
do
awesome
you
person.
do you have any? Oh, well, we mentioned like just a little bit like of upcoming projects. Like, but what can you
Mm.
hint out? Like, anything that you're.
We got the Angel Dust and Buzzy thing coming.
Mhm.
That's gonna be on a little groovy tip. Still hard. I have I have a bunch of tracks coming out on VAs, and you could definitely expect me to be fucking putting shit out, you know,
On your own,
on
yeah,
my
like
own shit. That's
yeah.
never gonna stop. And
Um,
that's pretty much it. Some
any
VA shit,
for
our
any gigs
collab,
too?
huh?
Any like gigs?
We're supposed to be going to LA for the first time end of November, so that's gonna be fire. I can't really say much else about that.
Oh shit! I was gonna ask you
Yeah,
like like any.
yeah.
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah, there what I don't know
I'm
if
really
it's
good.
still happening, but there could be a potential DC thing, maybe this year, if not next year, whatever. Um, and something else in October that I can't really say.
Okay. Damn, but that's clean. I
Um,
literally just wrote down end of November, Buzzy
yeah,
for sure. I know Zero came to LA for the first time
that's
like a
right.
couple weeks ago.
First time,
Yeah, shout out 6
body
a.m. and
that.
work. They brought him out here. I was like,
Yeah,
dope,
yeah, that was a good look.
man, dude.
How
But this,
how is it out there? Like
well,
like
like for like
for,
techno.
yeah, like is it like what's the sound?
Fuck, man. There's so like okay, like the best way to
Because when
describe
I
it, like
go
you
out there, I'm like, man, what the fuck do I play? I guess I'll just play
well,
whatever I
I
normally
think
play.
I feel like okay, if you were to get like booked like by say like 6 a.m. at like
Mm,
work, Synthetic Minds who books Yoro, they
yeah.
would curate the lineup appropriate to what your
Mm,
sound is. So I do respect them in that they curate different lineups, but the sound is usually cohesive, with the artist.
hmm.
But there's also small like I don't want to say smaller, but just more intimate like collectives. They're
Yeah.
throwing like some faster type sounds. Um, parties,
Okay.
So I think
That's good
you
to
can
know.
find your yeah, I think you'll find it like you'll find your niche of music that you enjoy, and you'll
Yeah.
be able to go. So there's a lot of like big promoters and even like small promoters, like
Hmm.
I wouldn't say small, but just I guess with a lesser budget, I guess, because
I
that's
got
what at
you.
the same time it is. But
Yeah.
I haven't with the whole pandemic, I haven't really gone out too much. I've gone out well, like with the whole, I'd say reopening in quotation marks because I'm like, um, It's like reopened, but still, like, I don't know. But I haven't gone out too much, But beforehand, I was going out like every weekend, and I was going to a lot of the 6 a.m., like Synthetic Minds parties
Hmm.
because they were throwing out some cool events. But I know San
Yeah, that's good
Francisco
to
has some
know.
cool stuff, but yeah, dude, I can't wait for that LA.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
telling you, play whatever you feel like playing for sure when you come out here, man. Like, school us, let people know,
Uh,
like, what Buzzy is about. I don't think you have to conform to, like, shit. Like, what does
yeah.
LA want?
No, but you know what though? Like, I get what you're saying. I appreciate that. But like, for example, I just played Hunter on Saturday,
Okay, yeah, yeah.
and I was booked to open. So
Mm.
it's not about conforming, but it's like, okay, if I wanted to do Buzzy, I would have opened up on some crazy shit.
True that.
But
Yeah,
but you know what? Ego aside, it's I gotta take into account the time,
times like, yeah,
the
that is true.
space, the how many people are there. This is basic shit that most DJs know.
Everyone's
Everybody
everyone,
knows
yeah,
this.
yeah,
I'm not gonna go in there and bang it out that early with nobody there. Like, come on now.
yeah, that's
So
true.
you do have to also at the same time like pay attention to those things. When I played
Yeah.
at Bossa recently with Keon
Oh yeah, you did. Yeah,
and yeah,
uh,
Billy
Ellie
and
and
Rosa
Rose. Yeah.
and Ava, aka Aunt Pew. Um, they all got different styles. So I had to like pay attention to all those things. Be like, okay, how am I gonna put together my playlist that complements everyone else? Because I could just go in and do my own thing and just go crazy, sure. But I like to think about the lineup. I like to think about the space, the promoter, you know. And then if they're booking me and they're hiring me, yeah, to a degree they're booking me for because my style, but also like let's also we can't forget that the party comes first.
Mhm.
On that night, the party comes first, and I want to play accordingly. At the end of the day,
And how
if
did
I
you
if I
feel?
get opportunities where I could go nuts, they tell me, "Yo, go nuts," and then I'm going crazy. But you know,
How did that party with Billy and Keon, like, Bossa Nova, go with you? Because actually that did come to mind because I know how well, you and Billy, can play like probably back to back, because
sure, sure,
but I've also seen Billy also, like, when he goes with Keon. Um,
he'll do a little electro,
yeah,
some
well,
house shit. Yeah,
Keon's label Gyration Station.
yeah, of course.
So initially, it was Billy and Keon. That was their duo name, Gyration Station, and I saw a set, uh,
Mm-hmm.
by them, and they played, like, a lot of, like, that ghetto, DJ Dion type tracks,
Mm-hmm.
and then he turned it into a label.
Right.
But so I've seen, Billy's also side of that, and I've seen Billy's, like, go ham and shit like, at a party.
Yeah, but
So,
he's super talented, bro. I seen this guy make any style you could think of: hip hop, electro, fucking rock music.
oh, yeah, he does, yeah, if you
Billy
see
is
that,
super talented, man.
yeah, I agree with that.
Always inspires me.
Man,
But
dude. But,
so yeah,
but I do know, but I
so
respect what you're saying though, like, meaning, like, taking in consideration the actual party and, the lineup that it is, but
absolutely, I don't want people to go in there and be like, "Whoa, it's 11 o'clock. I haven't even gotten my water or a drink yet."
hey, but to be honest, I think, there with the whole, like, people throwing parties again, there's been some collectors that I've seen that, and from the according to the stories, man, like, from beginning to end, they're playing some, like,
And that's
heavy classics,
fine.
so I'm
Like,
like, shit.
and that's cool. There's nothing wrong with that. But if I pull up and I see there's nobody there, they come in a little later. I'm not gonna throw out bangers and bombs in the beginning. I'll save those bombs for later. You know,
I'm
I'll,
interested
I'll
in
I'll just be playing for
mm,
myself, which is, I guess, okay. But if I'm
mm,
there, I want people to dance and connect with me.
true that.
Yo, I like the way you built that from the beginning. It was like on some like ambient shit, and then little throughout the night, you took me to another level here, and then bang at the end, you just went crazy. I love that response.
Can you
So
recall,
that's
like,
what
a
I'm gonna
party
try
where
to
you went
achieve. What
crazy?
happened?
Like, can you recall a party there where you just went crazy? Like, "Oh, hell yeah, I went to," you know
Yeah, when I first started playing uh when I first started learning how to DJ.
Ooh.
I wanted to play all the hard shit that I like.
Yeah.
I had to learn how to open.
Yeah, that's a technique for
You know what
sure.
I'm saying?
I love
Like,
opening because
and the person who put me onto that was Cioro,
mm,
because he was like, "Nah, you gotta open. Like, you gotta learn how to open." And I was like, okay, all right, I got to do this. I got to learn. And I'm glad that I did that because I could play any time slot now. You know.
yeah, I
But
just
at first, I was going crazy. I was like, yo, like the beats are dope, but like it's too early.
that's I can see it. Yeah, he said I haven't even gotten my drink yet.
I mean, again, it depends on the party. You know,
No, of course, yeah, because the
you go
party
to a
doesn't
punk
do that.
show and it's banging from the beginning
Oh,
to
yeah,
end.
yeah, that is true.
You know, so
Man, dude, Buzzy, this was an awesome conversation. Dude, I can't wait to see you in November. Everybody in LA
thank you. I
who's
feel the
listening
same
to
way. I
this.
appreciate that. If you have, any other questions, anything else you want to know, don't hesitate to ask, reach out, man.
No, man, thank you. Yeah, I'm for sure gonna. No, honestly, more than anything, like, thank you for allowing to do this. Also, thank you when that time you posted up the Max Watts and False Witness. You're like, and you reached out like, yo, I love this like stuff. I'm like, dude, it means
Yeah.
so much when people like reach out to this because I don't know. When I started, like I always say, I'm having these conversations, sometimes outside the smoking patio from the party. We're smoking
Hmm.
or something and just having this conversation. I'm asking these questions, and then I realize, what might be a little bit annoying. These questions should be just asked in a different setting, maybe.
Yeah.
And
No,
then,
they're great questions, and I really enjoyed those two interviews because I listened to. Them, I was like, man, this sounds really smooth, and they're going deep. It sounds like a real conversation.
yeah, that's the main thing.
So.
Like I usually write down some questions, but it's just like to not get these like brain farts and be like, wait,
Hmm.
what should I've asked?
For
But
sure.
yeah, it becomes a normal conversation, and that's what it usually what they all are. So, and I appreciate them all, and I just appreciate every.
I appreciate you.
Oh, dude, thank you, man. Thank you, honestly, Shane, for everything. With from the Reshape EP,
Hmm.
just growing up in Ridgewood and everything, and 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 I guess you've heard this, but you have a like you can tell that you're from New York because
Yeah.
the way you talk. So I'm like, hey, that's tight. Like, right,
Oh, little accent comes out, right?
that's clean. I love that.
Yeah. That's when I start getting comfortable. That's when it starts coming out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, man, I love that,
But
dude.
for when I what I my day job, I can't really talk like that. So sometimes you get like in a zone, and then I clock out of work, and then you're like, oh, okay.
You know
And
who's
a little more
on that
slang comes out. A little more of this comes out.
in the Dr. Green Thumb podcast, who's also like a regular like guest and host in a sense, is from the Psycho Realm.
Okay.
Is he
Who's
from?
this?
Yeah, I think he goes to Psycho Realm, but he's with the Beat Nuts. I don't know what he's saying, but he's from New
Psycho
York.
Les?
Psycho Les, my bad.
Oh
Yes,
yeah.
Psycho Les. Yes, there we go.
Yeah.
Yes, Psycho Realm. But no, yeah, Psycho Les. He's on there, and then every time when they're just joking around and they want to like imitate him, they're like, "What up, B?" He says
Because he's
B.
from New York.
Yeah,
His
and then
accent.
yeah, he's
That's
cool. He's
funny.
so cool. I'm just like, and he always
Yeah.
talks about like his New York stories. And
Right. And that's another thing too. Like, I'm gonna be honest, like in New York right now, like, there's not a lot of, that I know, like a lot of New York native DJ and producers. There are. I'm not saying there isn't, but like I don't think there's a lot. I think there's more out of towners.
living in New York.
Yeah. So I
Oh,
only say that. I say that because it's always nice feeling when you run into like a fellow producer or artist that makes techno and is from New York. It's like, okay, so we kind of like know the same shit then. And we
mhm.
like techno. This is really cool. So it's,
True.
it's always nice
True.
to meet people like that.
Oh, that is true. Damn.
Yeah.
Damn, that's clean, man. Well, again, just this was an awesome conversation. Just let the listeners where they can find you. Maybe some social media plugs.
Yeah, but I mean pretty much everything is on my Instagram, that's Buzzy with 6 Z's. That's pretty much the handle on all that other shit.
Do you
For
have a Twitter?
Facebook, SoundCloud. I have a Twitter, but I don't tweet anything. I just
Oh,
have
okay.
it.
Just to like have the handle.
I honestly, you know why I have it? So that I don't get parking tickets.
Wait, what?
I have Twitter because there's a New York City parking Twitter, and it tells you, you know what I'm saying, like if the alternate sides are suspended or not. So I
Oh,
go on Twitter, so I'm like, oh, okay, I don't gotta move the car. I could just leave it alone. I'm not gonna get a parking ticket.
oh man, you actually,
That's why I got Twitter.
dude. But out of everybody, you're probably using it like the most, like in the sense healthiest because of the way everybody uses Twitter. It's just like a journal. Like,
Oh, I see all that other shit, but yo, man, that's a whole nother conversation.
no, of course, yeah,
I don't
yeah,
get
yeah,
involved in none of that shit. I'm 36. Not to say that I'm an old fart or anything like that, but like I'm not interested in that
yeah.
little
There's no time
kid
for all that.
back and forth
Yeah,
shit. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like I'm here to make beats. I'm here to make music. I'm here to inspire. I'm here to be inspired. Have real conversations. Do shit with love, and just keep pushing forward. You know what I mean? That's it.
that
All
is
that other
true.
shit to me sounds like it's pulling me back, and I don't want to go back to wherever that is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
And I
like
can't
that.
have these debates and shit like that. Like I'll
And the way
have
that you,
maybe in person, I'll have it with you. We could have a conversation, but
mhm.
it ain't gonna go for too long. Yeah,
And I like, and you also, you're like an example too. Like, maybe Twitter's not even really needed to promote your music because the way you use Facebook and Instagram and your SoundCloud. You're
yeah.
good to go.
I,
You're good
I
to
was
go.
just telling someone who hit me up on Instagram. They were like, "Yo, like, should I like put my stuff up on Bandcamp?" I was like, this is what I do, and you could try it. I put everything that I drop on my Bandcamp. I upload it on SoundCloud. I don't post anything on Twitter. Only time I post something on my Facebook artist page, and that's it. My personal page, I don't say anything. Um, and I think people do by doing that and being consistent, people know where to find me.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
it.
And I'm an
Bandcamp
example
is
of that.
dope.
Like
You get emails, right? That tell you
all the
stuff.
time. Yeah, it tells you
Yeah,
when you just release. Like your Buzzy just is it like just dropped a track or something, and you see, I'm like, oh shit,
yeah,
and then
yeah. So
I'll be
that
at
I'm
work
gonna
and
just
then just go home
keep
and
it
download it.
going with that shit.
Yeah, yeah, it works.
That's it.
Man, Buzzy. Well, thank you again.
Thank
Everybody,
you.
this was the Beyond Normal Days Buzzy episode.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you.
All right, well, bye bye, everybody. Peace.
Peace.